That's progressive. I guess the real headline coming out of the basketball last night is Golden State losing.
Yes,
as we mentioned, the last time they lost was the week of the Super Bowl.
It was. End of January, they lost in overtime Chicago. Before that, it was in November they lost to the Spurs, and that was it. Until last night, Mike Conley comes back 8 days. This is something I know everybody thought of when he was going to play. They thought of his toughness. I think they thought of you, Greeny, how you would handle
I'd have been out there.
Surgery for facial fractures 8 days ago. And many people, including his parents, wanted him to skip this game as well and show up in Game 3 at home in Memphis. But he played in this one, had the mask on, and he was fantastic on the offensive side and on the defensive side. And he helps lead his Grizzlies to a win at Golden State, which we just said is such a rarity.
Well, I picked Golden State in 6 in this series. And, about 2 months ago, I was saying I thought Memphis was going to win the championship. And Golden State has just been so good that it's become impossible to pick against them. And I still think that they'll win the series. If Conley had not come back, I was sort of more inclined to think they might sweep that series. But with Conley back and playing, as you say, 8 of 12 from the floor, hit 3 threes, 22 points, only turned the ball over once, played really good defense on the other side. He's an excellent player. They're a really good team.
They are. And while we talk about his offensive prowess, hit his first 4 shots of the game, and Greeny just gave you the percentage, was incredible. But you look at he and Tony Allen's defense on Curry and Klay Thompson. And what one of the things I know more than a few basketball analysts, including Charles Barkley, said they don't buy into a jump shooting team winning the championship. And whether you're cold or whether it's good defense stopping you, you need those two to hit. Thompson and Curry combined 13 of 34 from the field, 3 of 17 from three-point land. And credit that defense to those two guys, again, Tony Allen and Conley, for much of that. And what a huge factor. If that team's going to do what we think Golden State can do, those guys have to hit those shots. Now, they're not going to hit them on every game, and this is a game they didn't. But how well Memphis, a top 5 defense, how well can they continue to play that defense and keep Golden State off their shooting mark?
Here's Steve Kerr.
It's obviously been a dream season. I mean, things have fallen into place over and over again, and it's not always going to work that way, And it's the playoffs, and this is kind of how it works. You get outplayed by a really good team, then you're going to lose whether you're at home or on the road. So it's 1-1, and we move on.
Basically, this was a game that was 41-39 coming to the end of half, and then it was Memphis who rattled off 9 straight, take a 50-39 lead at halftime. Actually, Golden State outscored them by 4 in the second half, 1 each quarter, but nickel and dimed them basically. Started to make a bit of a run in the fourth quarter, but with 2 minutes to go, there's Conley again on the offensive side. He hits a 3 with a little over 2 minutes to go to put Memphis up 10 and basically seal the deal for him and get that incredible win in Golden State. So they take home court from Golden State as they head back to Memphis.
This is interesting. You talk about the TNT guys questioning whether you can win a championship by being a jump shooting team. It sort of plays into the conversation we were having yesterday about do you still take the big man in the current NBA? Steph Curry. Who's the piece that you sent me, Cerruti, who had written that Steph Curry sort of dominates a game similarly to the way that Shaquille O'Neal used to dominate a game? Yeah, Ethan Sherwood-Strauss had said that as completely opposite as Shaq and Steph Curry are in all the obvious ways. Shaq is like a hotel, and Steph Curry is smaller than I am. But the way Shaq collapsed your defense until it crumbled, I think the way he used it is that Steph stretches your defense until it snaps. Well, the one thing that generally happens is big guys are going to get fouled. They're going to have all kinds of things happen for them. They're going to create havoc for the other team that small guys aren't going to do if they're not knocking down their shots. The jump shooters aren't going to do. Now, Steph Curry makes shots at a level and makes the kind of shots that I'm not sure anyone ever has before.
The way you can create it, yes.
But, nights like last night, you don't want to overreact to one night. It was a night that began with him holding up his MVP trophy.
Right.
So, for crying out loud, the guy can have one bad night. But that does show you why people would be worried about a team like that.
It can show you, especially a team like Memphis, that can play defense out on those guards, and we'll see how consistent that can happen, or if Steph and Klay, can take this series back over again. One tough moment in this game. Now, again, you're talking about a guy in Conley, facial fractures, surgery 8 days ago. So he's got I'll just say the Phantom of the Opera mask. I know it wasn't because he had a full mask, and I know it's not. But I just like using
Sounds
the term.
good. Yeah. Because you are such a Broadway aficionado.
It's kind of how I roll.
Yeah.
Kind of how I roll. Draymond Green hit him in the face going for the ball, and Conley hit the deck, called timeout, and was in pain. And everybody, I mean, it was one of those moments now. This was on the road in Golden State, so it's not like his home crowd was there. But if you were watching, you went, oh. You know, it's something you're like, okay, this guy's coming back a little early, and here he is, gets popped in the face, and he hits the deck. And everybody kind of was like, uh-oh. The refs even look at it, say it wasn't excessive. Obviously, Memphis is going to stare down Draymond Green a little bit, saying, hey, you know, don't be rough with our guy in the face. You're going for his face. You know, you're going after the injuries and deal. But that was the one moment when you thought, uh-oh. You know, is this going to come back to haunt him that he came back to play in this game? But, you know, nothing came of it. He was fine and obviously went on and had an excellent game.
I shudder to even ask this question. But we always talk about how teams will not disclose injuries in part because the other team will go after it, right? You got an elbow, test the elbow. Remember Rajon Rondo had the elbow that time, whatever it may be. Are you going to test a face?
Well, I mean,
if you're a human being, can you actually hit a person in the face?
I don't. Outside of him driving to the hoop, I don't know if there's really a way to try and get a shot in. But,
I guess what I'm saying is, in the huddle before the game, you know, you might be saying, well, let's see how that wrist is, guys. Everyone test that wrist. Are you actually going to say if you get a shot, hit him in the face?
But you know what you can do? I don't know if you would hit him in the face. I don't think you would purposely do that. I think it certainly could happen like the Draymond Green it happened. But you know what you could do? Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you had a badly busted nose or had these injuries and you were out there playing, I know I'm asking you, and we all laughed.
I had a broken nose.
I know you did, but you had it done, okay?
It was we called it rhinoplasty.
What else would affect someone, would you think, if you have facial issues? Getting close, right? Going like you're going to the face, you think maybe that would make them recoil a little bit. So you could do things like, I would definitely do things like that. Go like I'm going for the face. Absolutely.
Yeah, I could just see you in the huddle before the game.
In the face! In the face!
So Mike Conley comes back and put it in their face, and he was great last night, and so was Tony Allen. The Grizzlies, the plus-minus on Tony Allen. The Grizzlies outscored Golden State by 14 points when Tony Allen was on the floor. They were outscored by 7 in the 11 minutes he wasn't on the floor. Allen is a great defender, played a good